like you'll figure out you got I don't know why I'm laughing. It's April 14. Oh man, 6:46, and this is prophetic news. In my last video I showed that that I was coming out of a store, and I had two kind of plastic bag. Okay, it's my last video, and I see a police car, and I'm like, "Whoa, I'm not gonna go this way. I'm gonna go the other way." And because I was wanted for fighting, so I go out, and then I go out. I go around the little, besides the store, supermarket, little supermarket, street. And I go kind of up in Victorian kind of house, a staircase and steel a little bit. But then on a balcony, I kind of stop. I see myself next thing on a picnic table in a park. All these plants it's around me, plants outside on the table. And one woman comes like left, and she sits and short hair and smile and says nothing, looking at me. And then what did I said that dream? That she's like she's starting to say that this is her stuff, and somebody hears it, comes around behind me, a guy or two looks at me bad. I'm getting up, trying to explain, oh, I'm selling those. I don't know if I told the lady before. No, I'm selling those. These are mine. And she says, this is my stuff. And then the commotion comes. A few more people comes around. And then I walked around. I'm like, all right, that's yours. I put the a perfume box suddenly. I mean, it's all these plants. And I'm like, okay, what's the name on it? And she couldn't say because it was facing her back, so it's not hers. She's like, oh, that's mine. Kind of a style that she's a rich and she's buying it and doesn't need it. Next thing, I'm backing off slowly. I'm like, what I'm doing? Because now the same one or two guys, they're walking towards me 1-2 meters, and they're about to hit me because they didn't stop walking. I'm like, what I do? I heard take your phone or something. So suddenly I have my phone on my right hand, shaky a bit, trying to put it. I didn't know to put it on me or on them. And I try, my phone is out. It's broken. It's not broken, battery's off, which happens a lot when you're homeless. And then I put it, but they hit me. I get a little bit hit, I think, and that was it. So I figure out what it is shortly after yesterday. I uh, I went and I searched to this prophetic news. Right, I got dreams every day. So I don't know if people get it every day, but I get them every day, and I share my path. Mostly, I share them almost every day. And so that's why I thought, prophetic news. And Jesus gave me a name for that and a website. So I open it. So that's what it meant. What's the name? And I pray yesterday, and God give it to me. But in meantime, the staircase when I went after the groceries, it's when I search it online. There is a place called Prophetic News, and a woman, which probably is that woman, came to sit next to me and said, "These are mine." But you see, like a rich person, she's not putting her last blog written online at propheticnews.com is 2019. Mostly she talks about whatever she says, no videos, and she says that's me, and those are plants, and they're not bearing fruits. They were small plants, and so it's almost like I took it. And when I took it, when I went up, next thing I forgot to say, when I said these are my things, I'm like, no, this I put it. And then I see this image that I took it from, I said it yesterday, besides the store, open carriage. When you go shopping, you get this carriage, but it was on there, and I took it. Now it's not my style. I don't steal. It's not my style to take it if it's out there. But it seems like I would have waited, and it was deserted. You see, that's what she did, because she registered that, but then doesn't bear fruit, or didn't grow up like trees. It's still plants, and it was up. She almost deserted it, and I remember it was almost like we didn't know where it was from. It's almost like it's coming from God. No, I haven't studied her case and what she says most. After that, late that night, I read like she's talking this and that about some pastors, personal, whatever it is. And she might be wrong a little bit, she might be right a little bit, who knows, but this is what it is. And when I said, what's the name, that perfume, now I'm thinking, perfume, I hope it's not par for paranormal and fume for fume and dream is the influence, but I hope it's in a good way, like when the Lord was about to die, and for the period more than the perfume of the devil entered the church. So I hope it's in a good perfume way. It was not open. All I knew, it was a bit. I felt like it was a perfume of woman. So this, I took it bad, because I took it a little bit like a, not because it belongs to her, because she didn't know the name. She didn't care. Like, she didn't answer like a rich person that buy a lot of stuff and doesn't even know what is in her place when they buy a lot. Or that's mean bad, not doing her job, uh, not cleaning her house, and but I thought it was a bit cowardly afterwards, because usually I should preach more. Okay, this is my first call. On the inside, you can stay. At the same time, I stay a year outside. God told me a couple months ago, a church doesn't build by it's said bricks and walls, but I heard this is another story. So yes, it helps to get more willingly, or obviously share it online. So I register a website. Can I say yet the name? Jesus, can I say yet the name? Okay, so I'm not gonna say yet the name, but it doesn't matter at this point. So I'm gonna open the site. We'll see if there's time. I hope so. I hope I'm not misusing the gift just to push my not personal agenda, but my, I hope I'm not too blind on this. I know what the dream means. I know I'm pretty good now. I started to interpret pretty good about this after. And yesterday, I'll make another video about what I had. This is the interpretation I wanted to share, because it's gonna come a website soon. I'm gonna work more on it. Put a chronology, hopefully, maybe with videos. I'm gonna try to build my little place and try to look more aesthetic a little bit. Presentation, which back then I had when I was young as an artist, but being in the shadow and not coming to light, you kind of lose it, and then you almost don't have time, you care less. So this was about this, and why I'm laughing is that sometimes I see that these things, okay, it's almost like there's themes um, that there was in the news. Now I just see somebody put it on the news somewhere in the States. Um, I think just came up right now in the news on YouTube. I see somebody put that a newscast was hijack a woman, and it came down to a stop. And when she came down, she put her belt, the newscast, and the person who stole that vehicle news with the caster on the side, or the new reporter, came to a stop. And the video they made, they said not really because of the tree, but most because of the curve. And I'm thinking, okay, most because of her child, not because of her get bearing fruit. God made the stop a safe stop of the car. And then they say they're gonna put that person, and that person is pregnant as well. I heard it's not important. I'm sorry. But now there's two people pregnant. It's almost like me pregnant of Jesus with this prophetic, and that older person that had this prophetic news site and came to a halt, and they were both two women. Oh my gosh, now I'm just thinking about the female part. Not really good. I'm gonna go back to preach. I cannot right now because I had the whole thing that I defended myself. And though they free people from jail, I won't talk about this right now. So this is done. I'm just passing through here. Should I say, and that's it. Things are going heavy. They're going heavy. I'm fixing right now a little bit of buck. If you get a little bit of buck or a lot mostly, feel free to donate. I put a link there. This is gonna help. And if they put a message on PayPal now, I just opened this week. I remember I had it in the year 2000 when I was 18, and nobody really. And now I didn't have it for 20 years almost. Maybe I had it in 2010, and now I open. So and if you can put a message, if there's anything like I don't need to say whatever, but you know, and this is done. I have to say it for humility. You know, you do online, you put time, you do this. It can be much better with the gift I have. So hopefully, preaching is the best thing for me. And that's it. Excuse me. So now I left Toronto and currently Montreal, and I was supposed just to pass by. And excuse me, and just had a break, and then I was supposed to fly by, and I had this dream that God told me to go east. I've talked about it, and something happened, and then I was flying to east, and that didn't happen. And I know by my experience, it's for the best. So after that, you see something gets wrong and late, and you're like, I didn't follow. It would have been better. So now God apparently is showing me to, because of that, because I stay here, to now cancel going or to not go. And I just seen the news that the shortage of food and in Newfoundland, where I was supposed to fly, and St. John and Newfoundland, and they're talking about this, and now I'm thinking about the food of God, preaching. I hope there's a preacher there. Sometimes all it takes to plant a seed or something is one preacher. You know, they have one in Toronto downtown, and I was one, and then I don't know, St. John, and then what happened is so I had another dream. I heard to not talk about this. I'm afraid. I'm not afraid. It's a metaphorical saying that the World War III is gonna come shortly. Because God told me to not wait and go to a certain and then the herd shook. I took a break to trying to make a little dollar for my food, and then I don't know. Apparently, there's also a little asteroid that not little, but that will come into a big deeper, and I don't know what's gonna do. On the 28th of April, we'll see. Apparently, it's described as hazardous, but I guess no impact. It's pretty far. I don't know if there's gonna be debris. Apparently not. Uh, Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Um, it's either that or something else, and it's gonna happen. There's gonna be a shaking. I've seen many people talk about it. I've had my own messages of there's gonna be a shaking underneath me, and under Canada it's US, so there's gonna be a shaking there. And, there's some people saying I've seen this meteor fall on the water, but that can be the USS Roosevelt. When I had the dream that like a barrel, sardis barrel on the sea, and the jeep next to it, and it was going slow, and this did happen. And if it would have landed, it would have been catastrophic. I first thought it was a bomb, but then I realized it's the USS Roosevelt with the coronavirus inside. So, so this is done. Wait, I have to think about also when the warning is gonna come. The warning, the Great Illumination, like two comet crashing in the sky, and people gonna feel there's gonna be a pause, and some will die of the shock. Those who are, because you're gonna feel wherever you're gonna go. If you feel hell, if you're distant, if you didn't repent and you're in mortal sin and grave sin, some will feel the purgatory, a little tangling, like I did feel. I had this experience. I'll put the description when I said it. I made a video last year about it, and this experience happened to me during about 2011. And to those who are not account with these prophecies, mainly it's with the apparition of the woman and the son in the apocalypse was the Virgin Mary. And in Garabandal, I'll put the link. It's filmed to some miracles and unexplained, like children, apparition of a bread of Christ in the tongue of one children, walking backwards. I'm accountable with not accountable, but I'm accounted with this little remote this village in Spain, in North Spain, and I've been there once, and it's fabulous. It's beautiful. And I remember when I went to see one time a priest, and some people say, oh, it's not church approved, and other people say, well, Medjugorje, it's not approved too. Medjugorje, just recently, the Virgin Mary stopped after 20 some years her monthly message, and we see signs. We see signs that Virgin Mary appear every month to one of the seers who originally did the apparition. One of the child, now she's a grown-up woman. And the apparition stopped after 20 some years. I think it started at 81. Can you imagine? 30 years. And that's in Bosnia Herzegovina. No, Medjugorje. Yeah, I think it's in Bosnia Herzegovina. And it's Catholic. But this is the real church. Now, I'm not saying the Catholics are not corrupt, they're not infiltrated, absolutely. But look, there's two popes, but we are called to not desert the church when she goes down, but rather be a light and make her heal her, and if we can't. Even saints in their own congregation, you can read their lives, went through this. I'm not proud of myself not being with the church. I'm a convert Catholic since 2010, and I was not brought up in church, though I was Romanian. I was in Orthodox church, so just ignored God, and then I read the Bible, and I knew Catholic since about 2004, my conviction, because of the saints. When I tried to look the story, who's what church and all this, or later on, I think maybe in 2009. All my doubts were gone by then. So this is, and if you're doubt, just look at the great saints. Great. There are saints in the East Church too, because they're politically split. But you know, especially today when you can't even in the East change to Catholicism. I don't know if it's a good thing, but even East Orthodox, they have Catholic Western rites, while or you're Catholic and you keep your Eastern rite. Then, so Catholic don't say that Eastern will not be saved. Usually, if they don't know about it, that's a point. Let's say there's a one church real, and they've been split politically. It doesn't really matter, especially if you don't know. But if you know and you're Catholic, and then you desert the church for something not lesser, but let's say you got $1,000 and then you desert your job and you get $100. In plain words, let's say you will be accountable if you cannot feed your family up, if you did that freely by your own, and you understand. An example like this, so you guys understand my point of view here. So what else can I say? I won't even dream today. Won't reply because I was pretty mad not making the right decision. Little investment, and we'll see what happens. I think this dream is more private for now. Usually it can be both ways. I might regret it later, but we'll see. And I think I'm gonna cancel my trip in the east and go back west and start preach far west, and that's it. Yeah, in about 2 weeks, and we'll see. I'll still send some messages and send a few. I want to put my website online, and I'll give the description. I'll give the description shortly about it. I'm gonna try to put that on. Since God gave me the name, but at the same time, I'm saying that the time is so short. So we'll see what's going on here, and I'll speak later on about dreams and if God wants interpretation. But if they obscure and they can be interpreted, well, let's say so, and I start to realize that stuff that I can't say, there's stuff that I can't say because at least these other people with bad and evil intention, and not for the right reasons, are twisting things, so that's why.